possible to see in Paris or around, or?
Non, une voix. Juste derrière. Here, the statue, and the guitar.
What is this?
Tu veux plus de lumière ou pas là?
C'est bon, il y a assez de lumière? Ouais. Ouais? Ouais, c'est bon.
Hello, I'm ANA POPOVIC, and I'm gonna answer some questions now. On your first album, you played blues with a little jazzy touch. Everybody who was surprised how come you were influenced by blues music as well as jazz. Well, actually, I've been listening to blues since I remember music, because my father was into blues and we had a lot of records. He's been collecting that, and I grew up on a very old sounds such as Howlin' Wolf and Elmer James and you know, many other, Albert King and Stevie Ray Vaughan later. But so I was playing that pretty much, and usually American blues. And
Jimi Hendrix?
yeah, of course, Hendrix and you know, a lot of people. And like when I was about 18, 19, there was one guy that I really, wow, it struck me what he was playing. That was Ronnie Earl. And Ronnie Earl was, yeah, he had this clean guitar sound and he had this little jazzy feel. Well, actually, T-Bone Walker was doing that like in the 60s or something. He was playing actually jazzy guitar over blues changes and stuff like that. And later on, I heard Ronnie Earl, and I heard his album, like a couple of songs, like Akosh, for example, his song. That's like a simple minor arpeggio, but it sounds so jazzy to me, and it sounded, wow, this is like something new, and it's different than what everybody else was doing. So I wanted to do that exactly, and that's how I started. And then I was interested a little bit in that jazzy field. Then I listened to T-Bone Walker more, and I listened to later on some jazz people, and like Kevin Eubanks, like John Scofield and stuff like that. But I mean, still, even Stevie Ray Vaughan was jazzy in a couple of songs, and that was something that I really liked, like Riviera Paradise, like Lenny, stuff like that. He was having these little out chords. And yeah, that's what I wanted to do. But actually, I always wanted to sound too jazzy for a blues man and too bluesy for a jazz player, because I like that in-between thing. I don't want to be a real jazz guitar player, and I like that sophisticated thing about jazz playing and still some rough things about blues, and I want to keep that. And blues is my big base for everything I play. I'm just trying to go to the edge all the time.
Yeah.
And I like to just be able to switch in styles, but very good with respect to the styles. So if I play rock, I want to sound really, as a rock player, I want to have that sound, and I want to have these specific notes I'm playing in a rock song, and then a specific sound in the jazzy tune, and then to play real good blues shuffle, and to play it right with respect, not too many jazzy stuff or something. So that's my idea. That's what I'm trying to do. That's why my set is so every song is different, and I like that. And I like that my audience is always aware what is happening, and that they are always following what's happening on the stage.
Okay. Good.
And now record here.
No, me.
That's all, just a minute. Wow.
And now me.
Okay.
So that's exactly what every drummer is supposed to do.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, the next one, huh?
Yeah.
Is it your idea to have recorded Hush with some very well-known American musicians, or is it your producer's idea?
Yeah.
Well, usually it's my idea, everything I do. I don't take others' idea unless they're really good.
Yeah.
So everything was my idea, actually. I really wanted to see how my songs sound played by American people, because I grew up on American music, and I grew up on black music, like Albert King and Isaac Hayes and stuff like that. And I had this chance to record with people who've been recording with Albert King and Isaac Hayes, and who's been through that. My producer was recording with Steve Ray Vaughan and Santana, Carlos Santana, Herbie Hancock, and Albert King and stuff like that. So it was amazing to see how my songs sound played by black people in America and people who are just who grew up on that music. And there were so many things happening on the spot. And actually, more is actually that I just love challenges. I love challenge. I love the fact that I just went there and I didn't know anybody. I came with my little demo. And so here they are, and I wanted to see what actually is happening on the spot. Like we are on a studio, we are jamming, they hear the song, okay, this is what they can do, and it was beautiful to see. For example, a hometown that I recorded with my first band in Belgrade already 6 years ago, and just to see how they see it and how they play it. So that was great. Yeah. You were involved in the tribute to Jimi Hendrix album Blue Haze. How come that this finally happened, and who chose the song Belly Button Window? Yeah, well actually it was, I got my record deal through, well I was just jamming one night with Bernard Allison. Who, yeah, we just met in the backstage, and he asked me to come and jam with him, and I said yes, and it was great. We were like playing slide guitars on and on for 2 songs, and it was lasting forever, and the audience went crazy. So anyway, Bernard said, he took my first CD and he brought it to Roof Records, and that's how I got my first record deal. And well, then Thomas Roof called me about the Blue Haze album that he was just finishing, but nobody knew about me at that time. So that was like something that he wanted to present me to the people who listen to blues and buy his records. So this is, yeah, I said, yeah, man, it's like Hendrix is my big influence, and I would love to do a song. But he asked me then what song you want to do. So I said Belly Button Window, and he didn't know the song. So he was like, what is that song? I never heard of that. But I always like to do songs that are not really famous. And I think there are many beautiful blues songs that are not known. They're not Blues Brothers, or they're not so famous bands who play them on and on and on. They're just great blues songs that are not so known. They're not hits. Belly Button Window is one of them. And wow, I knew that song since I was a kid, because my father was playing that. And that's a song that Jimmy did only with the guitars. I think 2 or 3 recorded guitars, and one was doing this wah-wah guitar with as an imitation of no, and yeah, and Jimmy did it with actually a couple of guitars recorded on that song, and one was doing this wah-wah guitar, which was imitating like a cry baby, because the whole song is about the baby looking through a belly button of her mom, future mom, and he's asking like if he should be born or not, and that's like a really funny. I guess Jimmy was really tripping hard at the time, but I mean it's great, and he was doing this wah-wah guitar, and I loved it. It was like it's very mellow, and you really, as you can hear the baby crying or something, or baby talking, and he's like angry and he's sweet in the other moment. And so I wanted to do that, and I did it with a double bass, so it's like a little bit jazzy, and I recorded again these wah-wah guitars, and I love that song, and the fact that it's not famous, and a lot of people just approach me like, oh, who was this idea? Was this your producer or something, or was this your record company? But because a lot of people just didn't know about the song, it's not very famous by Jimmy, but it's great. 9 or 10?
Yeah.
1.
9 and 10.
Your second record will be released in April. How different will it be?
Yeah.
Well, I cannot really tell now at the moment. I did a half, and I'm coming back to another half at the end of March, and I just want to experiment at the moment, and of course I have my songs that are ready, and I think it will be more maybe rocky sound and more my voice, because I felt that on the first record it was a lot of producing. It was too overproduced. There are people smoking here really hard. Which one?
The last.
The last?
Yeah, last question.
The last question is, what do you plan next for 2003 after your second album release?
Yeah.
Yeah, first I have to go to the States. I'm doing the tour there in April, and I'm finishing the second record. And I'm gonna play there until 26th of April, the whole month. And I'm going back. I'm playing in France, and they start a big, it's just like a big tour. It's like an all-time tour happening, never-ending tour in Europe and then the States. And we're gonna play some. I'm very happy for very good festivals in France, such as Marciac, and I'm hoping for Nice and Cognac and Cahors and stuff like that. So I'm very happy with this coming year, yeah, and it's...
Maybe Paris?
Yeah, I hope, definitely. I hope for a new morning, maybe when my record is out already. And just, play a lot. We have nice festivals in Germany and Holland, and yeah, it's gonna be different because my record, it's gonna be a little different. It's gonna be more, just going in more into the edge of blues and trying to find, compromises with other styles. And it's like trying to find out what is really, really my signature in music. And I always like that. I don't want to put into the category this or that. It's just I want to play what I feel at the moment. And of course to make it very interesting for the audience, and that's gonna be it. And, that's my plan.
Mazal?
Madal.
Mazal.